Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar on using support systems, tools, instructors, academic coaches, and more. Let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, I would like to provide you with an overview. Congratulations on passing your foundational course and/or your foundational courses for those of you who passed two. You now have a wonderful opportunity to think about what's next and to plan ahead before the next semester begins. What can you do to prepare for the next semester? Those are the things that we're going to be talking about today in this webinar. What actions and efforts will contribute to your success after you matriculate? Okay, this webinar will answer these questions. So let's dive right in. First of all, let's talk about your instructors, your professors. How do you utilize them? First of all, don't be afraid of your professors. Remember that your professors, your instructors, have many jobs to do, and the most important of all those jobs is to help you and communicate with you. You are never a burden to your instructor when you are taking the initiative to contact your instructor and to ask clarifying questions. In fact, you are demonstrating to your instructor your seriousness as a learner. Use discussion boards, use email, and use office hours. All your instructors have office hours in Teams to seek clarification on anything that you find confusing. And don't think for a second that if you find something confusing, that there's somehow something wrong with you. That's not the case. All of us get confused from time to time. The best way to eliminate confusion is to read your instructor's announcements carefully every week. Make sure you read those announcements before you contact your instructor, because 95% of the time, okay, could be 94, could be 96, the answers to your questions will be found in those weekly communications from your instructor in Canvas. But what about the times that it's not there? What do? You contact your instructor knowing that you have every right to and that your instructor wants to hear from you. Okay? Be specific when you pose questions to make it easier for your instructor to provide helpful responses. All right? If your instructor doesn't understand your question, they're not going to be able to help you effectively. So give them as much information as you can. Don't think they're going to think anything less of you. They're not. They're just going to be thinking, and I'm talking as an instructor myself, they're just going to be thinking, how can I help this person? So the more information you give them, the easier it's going to be for them to provide you with a helpful response. Okay, request feedback. Now, if you have an assignment due and you're able to complete it early, let's say 2-3 days in advance, instead of just going ahead and submitting that assignment, consider contacting your instructor and sharing and saying, hey, look, here's a draft. Would you be able to provide me with any feedback before I submit it? Specifically, I would like to know, and then tell them, is there anything I can do to improve the language? Is my meaning clear in paragraph number 2? Is my essay formatted correctly? Okay. Whatever the course is, don't just send it to them and say, can you make this better? Ask them specific clarifying questions and then get some feedback from them. This is a wonderful way for you to improve the quality of your work and to earn a higher grade in the course. If you are waiting to the last minute, you do not want to contact your instructor. Why? Because one, your instructor might not have time to read your email until after they have assessed your assignment. Two, it doesn't look good to ask questions at the very last minute. Okay. So what you want to do is think about what your questions are in advance, look at your assignments in advance, and don't wait until an hour before an assignment is due to contact your instructor. Do it beforehand. They're going to be really happy that you did, and you're going to be happy to receive their feedback. All right. attending webinars. The most important thing that I can tell you as it pertains to webinars is that you should absolutely 100% either A, attend the live webinar, or B, watch the recording of the webinar. That's the most important piece of information. The one that you do is entirely up to you. The second piece of it is, if you have the option of either attending live or watching the recording, always attend live. Why? Because when you attend live, okay, and at Nightingale College, typically a course has one webinar per week. If you have to work, if you have to be with children, if you cannot attend for some reason, you have the recording. But if you can attend live, you absolutely should, because now you have direct access to your instructor. And your instructor will tell you what their policy is for the webinar, but they will have a way within the structure of the webinar for you to be able to communicate directly with them. It could be by asking questions in the chat. It could be by raising your hand in Teams and your instructor calling on you and you turning on your microphone and asking your questions that way. But to get that access to your instructor can really help to clarify any confusion you have regarding the topics for that week. The other reason that you want to either A, attend live or watch the recording is because your instructor will often tell you things that will be enormously helpful, tips and tricks on how to solve problems, on how to go about doing an assignment. Also, additional things regarding deadlines that you would not know otherwise if you didn't watch the recording or attend live. Okay, they'll also often highlight salient information from the announcements that you may have overlooked while you were reading. Okay. Draw upon your instructor's experiences. When you pay to attend college, one of the things that you're paying for is the expertise of your instructors and professors. These are individuals with advanced level degrees in their field of expertise, and it is their duty and obligation and their desire to share that knowledge with you. Okay, so you're getting access to them. It's really important that you utilize them in this way and that you ask them to share that information with you. Proactively engaging with your instructor also demonstrates initiative and it fosters a more meaningful learning experience. Not only will you learn more in the course, but your instructor will learn more about you. Why is that important? Because now your instructor is engaging with you. Now you're not just a name on your instructor's grade book. You're someone that the instructor knows, and the instructor knows that you care about the course, that you're invested, and that you have a strong desire to learn. That is going to ensure that the instructor has a desire to help you. We as instructors at Nightingale have a desire to help all of our learners. But I can tell you as an instructor that when I'm able to build a relationship with a student, it just naturally makes you want to help them even more because now you have a connection with that person. Okay. And you know that that person has good intentions and a desire to do well in their program. All right. Now we're going to move to our next topic, which is how to utilize academic coaches. The first thing to remember that an academic coach, just like an instructor and or a professor, is a professional. Someone with a degree or advanced level degree in their field who has helped many learners before you. Okay, and someone who will be able to assist you in a number of ways. So this is working with an academic coach is notably different from receiving help from a peer, for example. These are professionals whose job it is to assist you. Okay, now at Nightingale, we have different types of academic coaching. We are going to look at the 3 different types of academic coaching in this webinar. Why do we have three different types? Because these different types are going to help you in distinct ways. And if you look at this slide, you can see all of the advantages of working with our academic coaches, whether it's developing a growth mindset, maintaining structures in routine, building and increasing your confidence, improving your time management. Many learners at Nightingale are juggling one or more jobs, parenting, and other responsibilities. So managing time is enormously important, and academic coaches can also assist you with that. They can help you manage stress and establish work-life balance. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now for a moment, and I am going to switch over to our My Nightingale website and reshare my screen with you. So here you have My Nightingale. Remember to always start your day at My Nightingale. This is the first place you're going to come to access Canvas with your courses and also your email. The first thing you're going to do when you come to My Nightingale is always click on the icon of this person in the top right and make sure that you have signed in. If it says sign out, as mine does, that means that you are signed in and you're all set. Only by signing in will you have access to everything on our dashboard that you need to have access to. Now, to go to our webpage on academic types, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to click Academic Resources. After you click Academic Resources, and you're going to see many very important academic resources here. So please take note of them: the Writing Center, the Math Lab, the Technology Center, for example. Webinars on various topics. You can watch these recordings. But for our purposes, we're going to go to academic coaching. And after we go to academic coaching, we are going to click on our topic, which is types of academic coaching. And as I mentioned to you, there are three primary types of academic coaching at Nightingale. And here you can see what they are. It's very important that you're aware of them and that you know the differences between them and that you utilize them. So the first one we're calling Ask the second one we're calling Study Hall, also drop-in coaching, and the third we're calling Individual One-to-One. You want to make sure that you're selecting the one that's right for your situation. When do you go to Ask the, and what does that mean? Well, in Teams, and we're going to talk about the importance of having Teams downloaded on both your computer and your phone in a moment, but on Teams, inside Teams, in the search bar, you can put Ask the Writing Center, Ask the Math Lab, Ask the Foundational Instructors. Find the group that you need to contact, Ask the Technology Center. And now, very similar to texting, you can send a message or a text, if you want to look at it that way, to that group to answer questions that are shorter questions or more simple questions. The type of coaching is best for specific questions and getting feedback on work that has already been attempted. Okay, so specific and smaller questions that you have, you can direct to any of the Ask the Team groups. Now, let's move to the next level of academic coaching, which is the study hall, which is also known as drop-in coaching. This is face-to-face coaching. What does it mean? It means you and the academic coach are live. You will be able to have a conversation with the coach and even share your screen for help. There will be other learners in the study hall. So you have the opportunity to interact with them as well. You have the opportunity to work independently while you are waiting to speak with an instructor. Okay. And you can go to a academic drop-in in the math lab or in the writing center study halls. We have a video here that you can watch for more information on how to access them. We also have instructions that you can read. That's true for Ask the as well, by the way. If you're still confused for any reason about how to ask questions in Teams to any of the Ask the groups, here are the instructions right here that you can access. Okay, the last type of academic coaching is individual. So one-on-one session, typically you can book an individual session for 30 minutes with an academic coach. Some academic coaches, it might be 15 minutes. It depends on what's listed on their booking page. Individual coaching is utilized for more intensive help that can be provided in Ask the or Study Hall. We recommend using Ask the and or the Study Hall before booking time. Okay, so when you're booking with an individual academic coach, this is for more extensive help. And it's going to be a one-on-one conversation in Teams with video and audio between you and the instructor. Okay. If you can't have your video on for any reason, you can communicate that to the academic coach and you can share information with audio only. Okay, to meet with an academic coach for an individual session, you'll need to book an appointment by clicking here. When you know you need an individual one-on-one, you want to book that as early as possible. Okay. Now, here by clicking here on academic coaching schedule, we're going to receive more information about how we can access academic coaches. So, for example, here I want to put whatever my class is. Let's say you're enrolled in Math 100. Put in the days that you're available. Put in what do you want? Do you want all types of tutoring? Do you want tutor chat? Do you want drop in? I'll put both for now. And you can put whatever your time zone is. I'll put Pacific. Apply filters. Now you go to the day, let's say it's Wednesday. For all learners in Math 100, there's a chat in Teams from 1 to 5. That's 4 hours in which you can use the Teams chat to ask questions. And there's also 2 hours for a drop-in study hall in which you can speak one-on-one with the instructor. Okay. And don't assume that there's going to be 100 people in there. There's probably not. You might be the only person in there, and then you're going to have direct access with the academic coach or instructor. But even if there are a few people, that academic coach is absolutely going to get to you, and you can get other work done while you're waiting. Okay. And remember that these resources are all in addition to utilizing the instructor or professor of the course. Okay, so now I'm going to stop sharing my screen with you for a moment. We're going to go back to our slideshow, and we're going to take a look at our next slide. Tech issues. All right. Please always assume when you're studying online that at some point you're going to have a tech issue. It is completely normal to get a tech issue. Getting a tech issue in terms of its normalcy is like getting sick. And you might be able to hear that I have a stuffed nose right now. I have a common cold while I'm recording this webinar. Just as that's a normal thing that occurs to us in a month, particularly in the fall or winter months, it's also completely normal for you to have tech issues. The first thing is don't freak out. Know it's completely normal. Know that it's expected that everyone in the Nightingale community, including your instructor, the coaches, the administration, all expects that you're going to have tech issues. That's why we have an incredible IT department that will be ready to assist you. What do you do when you have a tech issue? The first thing you do is you email support@nightingale.edu. When you email them, you need to do 2 essential things. Number 1, you need to describe as specifically and as clearly as possible, check your language, what the problem is that you're having. 2, you need to attach a screenshot showing them that problem so that they can understand it visually as well. Writing clearly and communicating effectively and including a clear screenshot or 2 is going to help IT to resolve your problem as soon as possible. Please, please, please do not contact your instructor or professor until after you've contacted IT. Your instructor or professor is not an IT expert, is not trained in solving your technical issue. Will they be able to help you? Maybe. Will IT be able to help you? Absolutely. It's their job to help you. So that's who you go to. That being said, when do you contact your instructor? You contact your instructor as soon as you're done contacting IT. And you say to your instructor, I am having a tech issue. I have already sent an email to support@nightingale.edu with a description and screenshot of my problem. And then tell the instructor the problem you're having and share the screenshot with them as well. It could be that your instructor will have some insight. But let me tell you, your instructor, when they get this message, will be very proud of you. It can be very frustrating as an instructor or professor to receive emails from learners about tech issues from learners who have not contacted IT. Don't be one of these people. You want to go to IT right away and then contact your instructor. It will also help you to build your rapport with your instructor because the instructor will understand that you know how to communicate effectively. Okay. That said, if you forget to do this and you contact your instructor, please know that your instructor will politely inform you to contact IT. Okay. Let's move on to our next slide. All right, technology must-haves. We're talking about tools now. Tools are things that you really absolutely need to have in order to be successful at Nightingale College. A computer that runs the latest version of Windows or Mac OS. Check your computer. Make sure that you're updating it at all times. No Chromebooks or tablets. For many of our courses, in order to take proctored exams, you cannot use an iPad. You cannot use a Chromebook. You cannot use a tablet. You cannot use a smartphone. You have to have at Nightingale College a laptop or a MacBook or a personal computer. Download the Teams app on your phone and or your computer. My recommendation is to download the Teams app on both your phone and your computer. All right. Why do you want to have it on your phone? You want to have it on your phone so you can use it the same way you use your Messenger app to text people. You will be able to communicate with your instructor through the Teams app. You will be able to attend webinars with the Teams app on your phone. You will be able to send messages back and forth to other learners with the Teams app. Okay. Having it on your computer is also really important. You can have the notifications turned on both your phone and computer because when you're working on your computer and you're doing work, you can have Teams available that way as well. I prefer to attend all of my meetings on a computer or webinars on a computer as opposed to a phone because of course I can see much more clearly. So if you have the option to attend webinars from your computer, I highly recommend that you do so. Okay, remember please to log into Teams using your Nightingale login. Access Canvas on your computer and phone. As with Teams, you want to download the Canvas app on your phone, and you have to have access to Canvas on your computer. Why do you have to have access to Canvas on your computer? Because you have to be able to take quizzes and exams, okay? And you can see things much more clearly in Canvas on your computer. Why do you want to have Canvas on your phone? Well, Canvas on your phone is only good for checking announcements and messages. But it's important that maybe, let's say you're at work and you're going to be there for 8, 10, 12 hours, that you want to be able to check your instructor's weekly announcements. You can read the entire announcement on your phone. You can also message your instructor and receive messages from your instructor in Canvas on your Canvas phone app. So please make sure that you have it on your computer, access to it just by going to the website, start my day at My Nightingale, and then clicking on Canvas, and then you have the Canvas app on your phone. Lastly, If you're taking Math 100 or Math 20, you are required to have a TI-84 calculator. Okay, please make sure you purchase it. Please make sure that you go to YouTube. Go to YouTube and put in how to use a TI-84 calculator. Make sure you know how to use it effectively. It's going to make your life so much easier in both of those courses. All right, let's talk about software that you want to get familiar with. First of all, make sure you install Microsoft Office on your computer. You're going to be using Word, you're going to be using Excel. Make sure that you have basic Word and Excel skills. You might also very likely be using PowerPoint if you're ever asked to do a presentation in any of your courses. Okay? Make sure you have access or be aware that you need to have access to the web versions of these apps as well. Okay, tools in communication. Now, earlier when we were talking about academic coaches, we talked about the Ask the groups. What I recommend is that you, after watching this webinar, go in and send a Teams message to one of these resource teams. If you don't, let's say, okay, but I don't have a question right now. That's okay. You could go to the Writing Center, for example, and say, hi, this is just a test. I want to make sure I'm contacting you correctly. Also, what's the title of your favorite book? And then the instructor or academic coach who's monitoring the Writing Center will reply to you. Even though you've already passed the foundational course or courses that you took, remember that when you have questions about math problems or English problems or questions, things that you learned in foundation, you can still utilize the Ask the Foundational Instructors chat to ask questions about those things. Okay. For example, you could contact the foundational instructors and say, hey, I just wrote this thesis statement for a paragraph, for an essay assignment in English 120. Could you please tell me if it's well written? Okay. That's just an example. You could say also, if it's math, a foundational question about math, you could also share a problem where you're adding or subtracting integers, for example. This cannot be overstated. It is essential that you check your Nightingale email frequently. You should make it a habit to check your Nightingale email every time you go to My Nightingale, every time that you are doing work at My Nightingale. You will receive important communications from your instructor, from your advisor, okay, from the college, and they will be sent for your protection and privacy to your Nightingale email. That's why you have to go to that one and don't rely on your Gmail or Yahoo or whatever kind you have for those important information, for that important information. Now, to recap, utilize your instructors, academic coaches, and online tools to maximize your success at Nightingale College. Remember that instructors offer subject expertise and clarify complex concepts. Academic coaches, conversely, provide personalized guidance, improving time management and study skills. Online tools like tutoring platforms and research databases streamline learning and expand resources, fostering academic growth and confidence. In conclusion, I want to thank you so much for watching this webinar. I want to congratulate you again on passing your foundation course or courses, and I want to wish you all the best of luck as a matriculated learner at Nightingale College. Go get yourself ready.